All right, this is great. All righty, so maybe, just maybe I could try. Just let me give it a shot here, right? And see if I can actually bring up the 7 and the here star, right? All righty. And see if I can actually. So that looks like me and brother Corey. Hey, that's us. All right. Thanks. All righty. Done that. All righty. So we're here, right? All righty. So with that being said, it's looking like we are here. All right. I'm going to share this out to, I think, Facebook, right? So that people there can at least see that, right? And we're going to get this on out to the people, right? So let's hit next there and hit share. All right. So that's out there now. All righty. So everybody can get their hands on it. Peaceful greetings, you all. Islam, Islam, Islam. I am Brother Hassan Ghazi Obey here in Morocco at northwest of Maxim. How's everyone? How are you doing? Brother Corey, who do I have here with me? I have Brother Corey. I have Brother Arum, Bay, Brother Corey Bay, Brother Tyrell, Tamari Bay. And I have me here twice, actually, because I'm on 2 different devices, just in case I have to share some things with you guys. And this is the day we've all been waiting for here, right? Very impromptu. We didn't even let people kind of know that it was going to go like this. However, what we're going to do is share this relentlessly from this point on. All righty, and have a ball. We got class, guys, in like an hour and a half. Actually, in about 2 hours. We start at 12-ish. Start at 12. Right, start letting people in at 25 after 11. That's Eastern, all righty, time. And guys, today we're just not going to even take a whole bunch of time and talking. We're just going to just share what we share and do what we do. Right? Let me actually look here very quickly. Just one moment, and let me remove the spotlight, but then put it back on me. 1 second. Let's see how this goes here. Bingo, bingo. And that way we can see how everything is going there. However, it's really great that we have everyone here with us. And today we are going over Veritas, revelation of mysteries, biblical, historical, and social by means of the Median and Persian laws. I know most people will see that word and say they would think Persian. And we're saying Persian because we're speaking about the constellation Perseus. All right. And when we say median, we're talking about Mede in terms pertaining to measuring, which deals with Libra. All right. The star Shamali. So when talking Persian and Perseus, you have the star Al-Janib. So we're going to actually share this pertaining to Veritas. But before we get started, what is Veritas? Where did this come from? Right? And why are we here on YouTube all together on via Zoom, ready to speak about it, ready to unveil the revelations pertaining to mystery? All right. So why are we here ready to do these things? Why are we ready to unveil these things, guys? Tell me what has been your experience since this has been introduced to you guys. I'm curious. I would like to know what you guys are thinking about it. All right. So either one can start off. It doesn't matter. We're all at different levels into this or whatever, as far as sharing it and studying it. So let me remove the spotlight off of me, guys, so that wherever you guys talk, it'll just go right on there. All righty. So here we go, guys. My question to you is, what is Veritas to you so far as it has been shared with you? You guys tell me, and then I'll go into my account and then we'll get to sharing. And we're just going to get straight to it. All righty. Don't all fight over who's going to go first at once.
Islam, I'll go first.
Islam.
All right, so first of
who
all,
are you? Tell the people who you are. What's your appellation?
Islam, this is Brother Arum Bay.
You want to cam up, or you're not camera ready?
Nah, we're just barely waking up over here. I'm actually trying to keep it low because everybody was asleep when, we're on the West Coast.
Exactly. Thank you for telling people that, because I'm telling you, there's some Moors out there that's like, man, what is Hassan doing early in the morning? Like early in the grand rising. But go ahead. I yield, Brother Ara.
Islam. First, I just want to basically point out that the word Veritas actually means truth. So I take
in what language?
If I'm not mistaken, it's Latin.
Islam, I yield.
So I looked at it when you presented it. I told myself I'll look at it from the perspective of, how does that tie into everything that we're doing pertaining to the Moorish Divine and National Movement. I thought about Mayat, meaning truth also. And I thought about how Noble Drew Ali said that the truth is the only thing that'll make you free. So, like, coming into that, I took that serious, just based off the title and then who was presenting the information. But it seems like this is necessary for us to break off those concepts or those constructs in our minds that have been basically that groomed in our head. You know what I mean? Like as far as like the Christian calendar year, dealing with the Gregorian calendar, just dealing with time and dates, AD and BC and all these concepts, all these constructs that we've been indoctrinated with, which kind of puts us. I know people, if anybody's watching this and they haven't really studied like that, or they're not deep into the science, then it might not make complete sense. But the way that they're really running things right now is only because we're thinking a certain way. And so for all these constructs to be stuck in our mind that we believe this and we believe that, we really don't know anything. When you think about it, you don't know anything. Like most of the things people talk about, they can't prove. So coming into this information, and there's ways to verify it, through the astrology, being astro literate, and I've realized so far that I would say like 90. I don't know what's the percentage of how many people are religious, dogmatic religious, but most of the world needs this tool so that they can get things in order and stop allowing people to create the reality. You know what I mean? Or basically, they need to stop letting people manipulate them into creating the reality that they want via these fraudulent constructs. You know what I mean? They're all projections. They're all illusions, and this kind of like it just lifts the veil.
Islam. Absolutely. I appreciate you, Brother Ara. Thank you so much for sharing your account, because just to be frank, out of the four of us here, if I was to go in order pertaining to if it was like, if we were all someone's children, and we are, and we go from oldest brother to youngest brother in terms of exposure to the astrology, the baby would be you, Ara, and then next it would be Jag, actually, then Corey, then myself, considering the perspective of as far as being exposed to what it is that we're presenting. So with that being said, there are other brothers too. It's just that, everybody got the memo. I guess everybody is, if they come in, they come in. They don't. Everybody show up for class. Like I said, we already know it's early in some parts of the world, so to speak. So and it's good for you to give your account first. So then maybe next we can do Brother Jag and go in that order.
Islam, let me just add real quick.
Go right ahead.
Something real quick, if you don't mind. And yeah, that's why I shared it from that perspective, because I'm not as studied in astrology as I would like to be. being that, you know, I gravitated more towards like the jurisprudence and civics and stuff, etymology, but it's all relevant, so it all needs to be developed within our mind. So now that I'm on this, I realize how far behind I am. That's why I shared, you know, my perspective from that angle, you know, not really I didn't really talk about the astrology like, because I'm not that deep into it, but I see how this can help people around the world so that they can shake those, you know, shake that state of mind that they're in.
Mhm.
Basically, the state of mind the prophet found us in, you know what I mean? So,
Islam, brother Tyrell, Tamari Day, brother Jag, go ahead.
Islam.
Islam.
Okay, so the question was, what is Veritas to me? That was the question, right?
Yeah, what is Veritas? How to get in your hands? What is your experience with it? You know, I yield.
Right, indeed. So, what is Veritas to me? As the brother said, it just means truth in Latin. So, truth is just what it is. So, what Veritas to me is just what it is. So, I got the book from a good brother as yourself, right? And you know, just reading the book as you know, going through it or whatever, it's really clarifying on quote, time never was when man was not, unquote. So it gives you a perspective on mystery and mythology and mysticism, right? So those three M's, when you know, grasp them all and put them in one, you know, triangle or concept, again, like the brother was saying, you're looking at something from a responsible standpoint. Because when you know, they say when you know better, you do better, right? That's what they say. Right. So with that, all truth is just what it is. That's what that is. But the book itself, for me, it brought a lot of clarity to things that we've already been given from Prophet Noble Drew Ali and CM specifically. Those two, for me, I'm speaking for me. And seeing how we're really just dealing with calculations, like you said, because right now the sun is risen here. It seems to be risen here. However, somewhere else, that's not happening. So dealing with those realities, and it's not fantasies or mysticism or mythology or what you believe. When those things are clear, again, you can be responsible and not try to blame things on the devil and all of the other deities and entities that we make up in our mind with our imaginative abilities. Mm-hmm. So for me, that's just really what it is, for us to be responsible as who we are, which are the creators of this, you know, well, we're creating on this plane. So the truth is the truth. The truth comes about whenever you really want it, so to speak. And then you make decisions. So that's what Veritas is for me.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, brother Tyrell Tamari Day at Jaguar Soul _ on Instagram. Brother's a musician and astrologer. However, at the rate that we're going with how we're studying, we don't see the difference in the two, actually.
Yeah.
At the rate we're going.
I need numbers. I
You
need
said
numbers.
There's a distinction? What'd you say?
I need numbers to play certain things, you know what I mean? Like I can connect that way. You know. Word.
Indeed. In this year 321 Royal Ark Companion we're in, that they call 2021. Right?
Yeah.
We're at the Royal Ark Companion degree 321 right now, but to the mundane and the uninitiated, it's 2021, I guess.
That would be 21 degrees Pisces, right? That 321.
Well, when you're speaking on it with Veritas, technically on the tropic, one would consider it to be that. However,
indeed.
Your Pisces would be between, if you're speaking tropically on a zodiacal, between 330 and 360. So that would still technically be Aquarius. It would be 21 degrees Aquarius, actually. However, when speaking on Veritas, and we're looking at Astro-Masonry, 321, I think still keeps us, if I'm not mistaken. And so let's not go off of just saying the wrong thing, but just to give it real quick before we get to Brother Corey, and just to check the Astro-Masonic astrolabe here on page 5 in Veritas, Revelation of Mysteries, Biblical, Historical, and Social by means of the Median and Persean laws, right? Omnia vincit Veritas, and above that is the triple tau, the sun symbol, the Aries symbol, and the hex alpha for the brightest magnitude star in a constellation. That's normally the symbol for it. That triple tau, though, is the key to the house of David. All righty, and it's explained in here. However, if we look at 321, like I said, we're still looking at Capricorn, tribe of Gad, all right? Bartholomew, the prophet, and the saints, Matthias and Paul. Some people would, look at it like that. So yeah, you see 321 is between 316 and 326. And this is sidereal, actually, what we're looking at. And, later on, I'll go into further demonstration of this. We're just getting started. So let's have some fun. And let's just say a lot of truth in a short amount of time. All righty? Because, the truth is stern. Don't change it. Don't pass away. Right. And again, we're going over Veritas, Revelation of Mysteries. We're unveiling Veritas, the revelation of mysteries. All right. So we're unveiling these revelations, these revealings we're unveiling. Veritas.
What is the translation? What is the translation, people?
Omnia vincit Veritas. Omnia is all. Vincit would be is to be conquered. Right, one could look at vincit as is to be conquered. Veritas, or is to be conquered by. Vincit would be is to be conquered by, and Veritas, truth. So all is to be conquered by truth, right? So that's what omnia vincit Veritas is, because in Latin the V is pronounced with the W sound. All right, so that's what we're going over today, guys. And I'm gonna come back here and stop the screen share, and we're gonna segue to Brother Corey Bay. All right, and thank you again, Brother Arum, Brother Tyrell, Brother Corey. Islam,
peace and love, everybody. I am Corey Bay, and the question on the table is, what is Veritas in our experience? In my experience, as it's already been spoken on, Veritas translates to truth. So to keep it simple, best I can, know ye the truth, and the truth shall set you free. Know ye the truth, and the truth shall set you free. Man, mind knows not by being told, right? Mm-hmm. So even like camelbacking on some of the concepts of the brother's experience that was shared, in my experience with this literature, and I still haven't finished the whole book, to be clear, but what I have ingested, if you speak, what I have taken in from it, it's been clarity of concepts and foundational information that can release your mind from really any of the further dogma that's still there that may tie you to any of these mental constructs, so that you can experience to know, as opposed to being told or even reading and cross-referencing. And I'll stick with the time concept, for example, like time never was when man was not, or even hearing a truth being shared with us, such as time is not linear, it's cyclical. Well, it's like to hear these things and to be like, okay, and the study and see how like you kind of get it, but then after taking in this information along with all of that, all of those prerequisites, if you will, it's caused for me an experience where I get it from not only cross-referencing what's shared, and kind of reconciling it astrologically, right? And testing was being shared, but really just the letting go of the concepts, it's like it causes an experience. You know what I'm saying? That may it's like a FDA, like it may cause, right? not guaranteed, but this may cause you to actually be free from the dogma that has been conditioned on the people. And like I said, it's an experience that instead of knowing that time never was when man was not, or knowing the concept or the phrase that time is not linear, it's cyclical. It's like now I have the tools as well as the foundational information to say that I know that to be true from experience internally and externally testing it the ways I know how. On that, I think I yield the floor there. This long.
It's long. That's excellent. That's excellent, Brother Corey. Thank you so much for you all giving your accounts. Again, Brother Arum Muaba Bey, Brother Tyrell Tamari Bey, and Brother Corey Lee Bey. Thank you so much for you all giving your account. And now it's my time. All righty. So peace and greetings to you all. We see we have 7 people here in the chat with us, and at least viewing here on YouTube. I can see monitoring briefly. So Veritas, right? I was in a conversation with the good elder brother Taj Tariq Bey, and we were in a phone conference. And with being in a phone conference with Brother Taj, who we were in a phone conference with, this good mother, I haven't asked her permission to say her appellation and publicly, so I wasn't sure if she would want to be, revealed publicly. However, in conversation, we were conversing. She had, asked me, she was like, all the religions are based on cosmology and astrology, right? And I was just like, yeah. And so then I realized in her word choice, she, in my perspective, was taking a position that I may not know certain things. So the conversation, the language and the jurisdiction and how we continued from that point elevated to a level where she was like, you need to get the construction of the Median and Persian laws. And you'll see how all the religions are made, especially here. Our ancient knowledge is really on the sidereal astrology, but get that book. I was like, okay. She told me where to go. I was hard-headed and went to archive.org instead of going to Google at first, because a copy on archive.org is missing 51 pages. However, I got the one from Google. I have the 175 pages PDF, which also I'm going to say here for the record, since it was freely given to me as far as being shared, and then I've gone into it and I've actually shared some things with some of the elders, even sending text to Brother Taj being like, hey, this is what me and the brothers are working on since that suggestion. We've had this in our possession for about, it's going on 5 weeks now, 5 cycles, 5 7-day cycles. So we had it for about 35, going on maybe 40 something days now, right? Going on about 42 days. And I wanted to share it immediately. However, I said, let me go through it. And I'm through most of the book. I'm at page, I think, 102 out of 175 as far as the PDF is concerned. But however, I'm a skimmer. So even though I've, in a linear fashion, went through 102 pages, I still skipped and jumped through. Sometimes I will stop and read a book from reading it linearly. I'm like, let me stop here and just go to the back and start reading from the back to the front. So I've been shuffling these past 5 or 6 sets of 7-day cycles. However, at the point now, linearly speaking, I'm just seeing that, and I'm just like, okay, I'm just glad that once it was shared with me via in this group conversation with myself, Brother Taj, and this good mother, and she shared that suggestion with me. A lot of questions came to my mind. Okay, who else has had this book, and why hasn't things been shared to the public? Like that. And then I think, when Brother Taj had shared, when good astrologers come on the scene, their mission is to kill them. So, we're not out here looking to get nailed to any so-called crosses. However, when you have Veritas, that even that story is poetic fiction, because it's an Astro-Masonic fact that is, the foundation to that. So with that even being said, you know, when reading Veritas, you'll see the authors, even when you go through it and read the letters, they're, you know, appealing to different grand lodges, different Masonic grand lodges for people to look at, you know, what's in here in Veritas, and certain people in certain grand lodges weren't interested unless it was financially suitable for them. And when you see these things and see what we're going to go over, because I am going to share it, guys, don't get bored, because I'm about to share Veritas. And I'm going to share it with you how I shared with my brothers here that are here with me. And there are many other people that have this also. There are, you know, I've spoke with people that purport to identify themselves as sheik and grand sheik, you know, in their certain jurisdiction. Even they were taken aback by the presentation when it was shared with them. However, we realized why, because there may be people that have Veritas and all they've been doing is just publishing books. However, I can say that in looking at Veritas and in analyzing good brothers such as like Brother Taj, I can go back and look at anything he's presented and gone the whole time. Brother Taj has been teaching from Veritas without saying that he's teaching from Veritas. Because when we analyze, myself, Brother Corey, Brother Jack, Brother Aura, and other brothers, if they were here, I would be saying their appellations or whatever, but you brothers know who you are. I'm just gonna wait till you show up. You know, people have seen like, oh, snap, like, yo, like this stuff is really checking out. So I'm seeing how, you know, poetic fiction and Astro-Masonic facts, you know, when you don't have that, or you don't remember that, or you're not being yourself because you think being Negro, Black, colored, African-American is cool, or that's your foundation, you're completely off. You're the fathers of the eternal zodiac, the mothers and fathers of civilization. All righty, fathers of eternal zodiac. That's Fez, F-E-Z, fathers of the eternal zodiac. And when you don't remember these things, you know, a lot of people, you know, there are people out there and there are books written and people giving lectures about the sword doesn't belong over the 5-pointed star. That means that the woman is being subjugated. Now, in reading and looking at the Median and Persean laws, the sword is in the hand of Perseus in his right hand, because in the left hand is Medusa's head. All righty. I was going to say Algol, because that's the star that's there in Medusa's head in the constellation for Perseus. And that the star in his belly, you know, Gyrus or Cyrus in certain dispensations I've read according to my studies, in his belly is Al-Janib, the star that, according to the sacred year, in what people will call these days, contemporarily speaking, Judaism, the Judaic sacred year starts Nisan, which deals with Aries, and that star Al-Janib is what actually is symbolized there. And that's what the scimitar is. So a lot of people have these LTPFJ flags and symbols, and 9 times out of 10, we can see, because we've waited for 6 weeks on purpose to see if anyone else had this book, if anyone else spoke up. We did so many posts on social medias that showed that we are demonstrating studying this. And I even asked a few people that purport to hold scimitars and pictures and have these flags with scimitars and stars on them. And we asked them, what does that mean? Oh man, that means that the woman is subjugated and we got to stop the subjugation here. Well, actually, when you actually go into your memoirs and you go into the truth and the divine truth, and you really keep Prophet Noble Drew Ali at the forefront of your mind, not dogmatically speaking, Prophet, a thought of all balanced law pertaining to the zodiac, Noble, all-knowing, Drew, truth, Ali, master. So Prophet Noble Drew Ali is thought pertaining to all balanced law pertaining to the zodiac, all-knowing truth master. That's what a Prophet Noble Drew Ali is. And when one rightly discerns the word by utilizing the etymology degree after the Ruth degree and microprosopis degree, then one can actually discern within their heart the puzzle that is to go together when thinking about how people that are identified and misclassified as Negro, Black, colored, African American are subjugated due to their lack pertaining to the knowledge, pertaining to the construction of the Median and Persean laws, which clearly is just speaking about how these celestial bodies move against the backdrop that is the celestial sphere. Is that clear? Are we clear?
Transparent, bro.
Islam, clear.
So with that being said, and continuing, in reading the Veritas, we do get in the beginning, as far as how people who purport to tote Bibles and run organizations, which we're not making negative assertions to organizations at all. Not making any negative assertions to any organizations at all. However, there's a practice on the planet where the Median and Persian laws are utilized to subjugate the people who do not honor their ancient foremothers and forefathers by allowing themselves to be misclassified as Negro, Black, Colored, African American, Ethiopian, and because they do not know or will honor their ancient foremothers and forefathers mindset by going back to the Median and Persian laws, because we are the great measurers here at the North Gate. No one could measure the earth better than us based off of the celestial sphere. Knowing the earth measure, we building pyramids that deals with these things that are dealing with the construction pertaining to the Median and Persian laws. Everything on this planet is done based on the celestial picture writings that have been created amongst the stars and then have been acted out here on Midgard. Asgard is the celestial sphere. Midgard is here where we are, and Utgard is where the giants are, out of bounds, all right, so to speak. So when you're speaking about North mythology or Norse mythology, and Prophet Noble Drew Ali divinely prescribes, get your people out of the South. When we look north, we recognize that there's a pole star there, and that pole star, there's a foot. The foot that has been drawn on the celestial wall is the foot pertaining to Cepheus, the constellation Cepheus, who is resting his foot on the earth, sitting on his throne in heaven. And that is what those terminologies are purporting to in the Helios Bibliothèque, contemporarily identified and called, namely, the Holy Bible. Now, with that being said, let's move on to Veritas. In a screen share here and going to my iBooks, Veritas, right? Revelation of mysteries, biblical, historical, and social by means of the Median and Persian laws, Omnia Vincit Veritas by Henry Melville and edited by F. Tennyson and A. Tudor. London, published for the author by A. Hall and Company, 25, Pater Nostero, okay, Pater Nostero. All right, Anno Domini, the year of domination or the dominating times, 1874. And you're going to learn right now, 1874 is not an actual time or year. It is actually both an Astro-Masonic fact tied in with a poetic fiction, which means now you should see why Prophet Noble Drew Ali told you and prescribed that truth and falsehood are strangely mixed. All right. Let's continue, beloveds. I'm going to take you straight to page 51 out of 175. And like I said, if anybody wants this, all righty, just let us know in the chat. Send us your email. Email us, all righty. If somebody could, email me, 7hillstar@gmail.com, right? 7hillstar@gmail.com, 7hillstar@gmail.com. I already have a drive that I prepared for you guys that is within my library. I won't, dishonor my students who have full access. However, those of you that are interested in this particular presentation here, I've already made a drive for those that will be curious, actually. But all my students and everyone there, they can see that there's a Veritas drive now. And some of the documents have been moved into that Veritas drive. I still have yet to put the free Masonic Bible in there also. But I will by the time we finish class later on today. So let's go to page 51, right? Let's do this. Let's just have fun. ancient dates, celestial points. And I'm going to read this a certain way, all righty? And this is what I revealed to my brothers that are not brothers. Is this how I introduced Veritas to you?
Indeed, indeed.
I took you straight to page 51. Even though I'm telling you guys, start from the beginning. So you can see some of those letters written to some of these brothers in these grand lodges, all righty? I will say, though, the certificate, the Masonic certificate for the Grand Lodge in Ireland, I've really enjoyed being able to see the Astro-Masonry, the Astro-Masonic facts preserved within it. All righty, I just found that interesting. And guys, you see our tassels are free-flowing, so we're not under any obligation or whatever. And even in this book, the author says they want to tell this about the Median and Persian laws without revealing any obligations of any particular lodge, so to speak, or any particular group of Masons, so to speak. However, us being national, us being Moorish American, and us having in the forefront of our mind Prophet Noble Drew Ali, we don't need to be a part of some type of lodge or something in that perspective, when we realize that Earth, where we dwell, is both where we are here on Asgard as well as, where we are here on Midgard as well as Asgard and Utgard. It's all three are collectively Earth. All right, so this is the lodge. This is the temple. And to boil it down as if we have to take any earthenware, turn it into brick, and then repetitively lay that earthenware turned into brick, and then create a building, an artifice called a building, and then hold meetings on the second floor there. That kind of mindset is primitive at best, when one knows that all can happen within, which is really east within, even though we have directional east. As above, so below. As below, so above. As within, so without. As without, so within. And this is what we're doing. We're corresponding. So let's correspond to all. All righty. So let me zoom in here. All righty. Ancient date celestial points. Psalm 77:5. I have, together with the stars, the days of old and the years of ancient times. Why didn't I say considered? Well, considered etymologically, con is together with. Sidered comes from the Latin siderus, which means stars. So considerus is together with the stars. So I have together with the stars the days pertaining to old, the years pertaining to ancient times. Job 9:25. Now my days are swifter than a post on Instagram. Okay, I paraphrase the word Instagram there, I know. Swifter than a post on Instagram. They flee away. They see no good. So why am I about to sit here and make up how I think the days need to go when there's actually a Astro-Masonic, truth from ancient that I am to be considering. Before commencing the interpretation of sacred celestial picture writings, it will be advisable to prove that no reliance whatever can be placed on ancient dates, either those of Europe, Asia, or elsewhere. And that figures attached to epochs and events are not days at all, but mere Astro-Masonic points on the heavenly circle. This assertion will be considered astounding, and yet the simple Median and Persian laws, now before the reader, and which cannot be refuted, will unravel the mysteries of reputed antiquity. And again, question your authors and lecturers that have said the sword doesn't belong over the star. Again, the sword eludes the sword in Perseus's right hand, where the star Al-Janib signifies the constellation Aries for the start of the sacred year, Nisan. Now, the 5-pointed star alludes to the 8-year cycle that it takes for the 5 synodic markings or 5 synodic events between Earth, Sun, and Venus. And those 5 points can be interlaced, connected, all righty. And it deals, since it's dealing with Venus, it's also alluding to the star Shamali, all righty, Zubin as Shamali, in the constellation Libra, which is the 7th day of Nisan, however, the first day of the civil year for Tishri. So between Nisan and Tishri, the sword, the scimitar, is alluding to Al-Janib, the star in the belly of Perseus, who has the sword in his right hand aligned with the constellation Aries, which symbolizes the sacred year, and the five-pointed star, which deals with Shamali in the constellation Libra, Zubin Shamali in the constellation Libra, which that five-pointed star is alluding to, that Libra is ruled by the planet Venus, which makes in 8 years' time 5 synodic events between Sun, Earth, and Venus. So when a woman is not given this knowledge and information, yes, she is thus subjugated. And if a woman does not want to know this information so that she can bring champions to the planet, because her womb is the first schoolroom, and with that being said, she can thus study this construction pertaining to the Median and Persian laws and keep herself from under the thumbs of crusaders that may seek to rob her of her life's energy by way of her lack of knowledge pertaining to Veritas. Just to say. Continuing, every spot or point on the Earth's surface performs a revolution of 360 longitudinal degrees in 24 hours. Consequently, each hour is of 15 degrees. So 15 degrees along the ecliptic, all righty? So what does that mean, right? What does that mean? What should I do? Should I do this already? Yeah, because eventually they're going to mention 2 other books. And one of the books, if this doesn't have to load, right? You guys see I've already been doing some marking here, right? But however, let's start here. Let's go over here to where 0 degrees Aries is, where I'm going to show you why it's 0 degrees Aries, because this here is the ecliptic plane that I just highlighted in green. That's the ecliptic plane. And this is the equator right here. And where the equator and the ecliptic plane meet in the north is 0 degrees Aries, where they intersect. And where the ecliptic plane and the equator meet in the south, where they intersect in the south, this is the ecliptic, which is the perceived sun's path, and the equator. Here is where you have tropic Libra, even though it's right there on the shoulder pertaining to the constellation Virgo. As you see, Virgo's right there. That's her shoulder that I just circled. You look to the right, you can see her head, so she's kind of upside down, right? And so this is what we will be looking at. And then you look here, you see when you go 15 degrees along the equator, boom, hour 1. This is hour 24 when you come back at 360 degrees. You move another 15 degrees, hour 2. All right, and so forth and so on. And just to show you what I mean about Perseus and the Persian laws, if I was to just briefly, real quickly, take a ruler and line up from the pole of the equator, which is known as the North Pole, right? And I take Al-Janib, which is right here. See the star Al-Janib right there? Al-Janib. Hey, Al-Janib, right? Al-Janib, right? So we take that. Let's say we line it up with the pole of the ecliptic, right? And we should see Al-Janib about right here, lining up with the ecliptic. Lining up with the equatorial pole on the equator. So we could possibly say that around May 8th is when Al-Janib and the sun are aligned. One could say that. Why would I say May 8th? I'm going to show you why. Let me actually draw a line here with my ruler. All right, just to show you, even though in the Median and Persian laws, you go from the pole of the ecliptic. All righty, so here's the ecliptic pole right here. Let me set the ruler there. All right, and let's go through Al-Janib again and see where we hit. If I was to go from there, right? Probably look a little different because we're hitting a different pole to come from, right? It's like, what do you hit when you just want to get to that star? It looks like I'll be hitting about 56, maybe. Right? 56-ish. Draw another line. Right? And let's take that down now, or whatever, just to show you guys how that lines up. You see how it's lining up, sort of, kind of, to a certain extent. It looks like it's hitting the tail end of the constellation Aries when going through the pole of the equator, and through the pole of the ecliptic, it's going through the neck of the bull, right? However, if you look along the ecliptic here, remember when I circled Aries over here? What comes after Aries? Oh, the sign Taurus. Okay, look, that's where it's starting, guys. If you look real close, it's giving you a date right here. So that's April 10th, 11th, 12th, 13th, 14th, the 15th of April, 16th, 17th, 18th, 19th, 20th of April. And that's where Taurus happens on the tropic, even though it's lined up with the constellation Aries, all right? So, and then you see the numbers up here are the degrees for whatever tropic sign we're in. So the dates are here, right? And the degrees are up here, right? So you're looking at two circles, right? Because one circle, it has its center at the pole, the North Pole, right? And there's Cepheus. Let's circle Cepheus, the Most High God, right? With his foot on the pole star, right? There's that Most High God holding that scepter in his hand and a crown on his head. Cepheus, this topmost 2/3 of his face in the Milky Way right there, that sandy looking stuff right there, right? Just to give you guys a picture to all I've been speaking about or whatever, and just to show you where Algenib is and the scimitar in Perseus's hand, and how it looks like that scimitar is pointing right up to Andromeda's skirt, you know, and you'll start seeing where a lot of these things come from. Andromeda would be Mary Scotia, and then her mother Cassiopeia would be Mary Magdalene, right? It's just different things of how you're seeing how these things would be purported as you go into Veritas, alrighty, the revelation of mysteries, historical, biblical, and social by means of the Median and Persian laws. So let's go back to the other book, right? And let me just erase those things that I just did and showing you or whatever. Let's take it back and erase all those lines that I've drawn or whatever. Right? So you guys can enjoy that. Did I go back enough? Okay, there we go. All right, so there we go. And you guys can see that that's one thing that we're going off of. But I'm just going to do things here on the computer screen. All right, because I know I got class soon. So I'm going to show you guys. I'm going to demonstrate by hand. I'm going to have my beloved, lovely, beautiful other half, Mother Sekhmet, Gazia Farah Tyrell, hold this iPad for me while I go to the table and show you guys other ways of actually doing this. And shout out to my brothers again here with me, because I sent them what I'm going to go to the table with in the mail, except Brother Ara. You know, I got to send one to Brother Ara or whatever. But a couple of the brothers, as I was going over it, because I know where everyone is in their astrology, I was like, all right, guys, maybe you can see this like I see this or whatever. So let's go over it like this, right? So let's bring back up Veritas, all right? And let's finish reading. I just wanted to show you that about the 15 degrees, each degree being an hour. All right, so let's just read now. Every spot or point on the Earth's surface performs a revolution of 360 longitudinal degrees in 24 hours. Consequently, each hour is of 15 degrees. These hours on all celestial charts are marked with the Roman numerals, beginning at the first degree of astronomical Aries. So I already showed you astronomical Aries, right? When I showed you where it intersects, where the ecliptic plane, which is the sun's path, the perceived sun's path, intersects with the equator. All righty, so that's astronomical Aries, where the celestial picture Aries is the constellation. All righty, so I'm just helping you to be able to grasp some of this language that was supposedly written in 1874, but you'll see that 1874 itself is some Astro-Masonic point also. It's not actually a year. However, let's continue. and what I'm saying here, and then I'll yield the floor because we got class coming up, right? Prophet Noble Drew Ali University, guys. Same Zoom number 99890262250, and the passcode is today's date 140321 140-321. All righty. Thus, at 15 degrees is the Roman hour 1. At 30 degrees, the Roman hour 2, and at 45 degrees, the Roman numeral 3 for the hour 3, and so on throughout the circle, throughout the church. These hours were centuries with the esoterics. Oh, with the Joneses in them? No, not the Joneses, the esoterics in them. Oh, I remember them, that family down the street. Yeah, with them, these hours were centuries with them. And each hour or century consists of 100 decimals or centesimals. So 100 decimals is called a centesimal. To discover the true celestial point of figures supposed to be, let's do this again. You want to make sure we're paying attention here. All right. To discover the true celestial point of figures supposed to imply dates, the hours must be multiplied by 15 and the decimals or centesimals added. If any numerals be thus tested and the celestial point obtained be unmeaning, then it may be considered certain that there must be some error, and that most probably the numerals have been tampered with by ignorant modern learned. The hours being only of 15 degrees and the fractions 100, it results that centuries or hours may be smothered in the centesimals. All right. Thus, let's give an example. So now we said all of that. What do you mean time is not time? And what's decimals and centesimals? What's all this stuff you're talking about? Okay, here we go. Thus, for example, history tells us, right? Thus, for example, history tells us the temple of Apollo was burnt 362. All righty, pay attention to that. History tells us the temple of Apollo was burnt 362. This 362 is, by the uninitiated, read as meaning the 62nd year of the 4th century. But the event and the date have nothing whatever to do with history. The one is a poetic fiction, the other a mere Astro-Masonic fact. So now it's going to break down that 362 so that you can see how the truth and falsehood has been strangely mixed. And if this book has been out this long, and I will only manifested in 1984, and this book was supposed to have been released in 1874, what other people had this book? Now, I will think and say that as I think about Prophet Noble Drew Ali and Brother Charles Mosley Bay, this is one of the books, if not the book, that they were going off of. To be able to try to break it down in the best way that they can. Not try, they broke it down in the best way they can, because after reading Veritas and then going back to the literature that Prophet Noble Drew Ali has divinely prepared and reading Brother Charles Mosley Bay's literature, you will see that a lot of people you're going to have to show mercy on, because you're going to realize that they don't know what they're talking about. You're going to realize that the people you look up to are slave holders, and you're the slave that they're holding. I know you don't want to look at your grand sheiks, pastors, rabbis, imams, and ways. I know. However, if they're not sharing this with you plainly like this, there's an issue. Unless they're a part of some type of organization where they've sworn not to say something. Aura 3, or the third hour, gives 45 degrees plus 62 is 107 degrees. Gives 45 degrees plus 62 of the centesimal, which is 62 degrees. So 45 degrees plus 62 degrees is 107 degrees. And there, from the pole of the ecliptic, is Apollo, and his chapel or temple, Capella, is at Arc Royale, or Royal Arch Companion 107. Capella. What's Capella? Let's show you guys what Capella is. Again, remember I took you here, right? And you see that there's lines already drawn. You see that there's arrows at 46 degrees, 76 degrees, and 106 degrees as far as the Royal Arch Companion, that AR that you see, or Arc Royale. And look right here, see Capella in the constellation Auriga. Remember that you would see pictures, those of you too that are in the Bible Belt, you may have grown up with pictures on your wall of a bearded man, a pale-skinned bearded man who was holding a lamb on his shoulder. And a story may have been told to you that he left the 99 to save the one, and that one lamb is there on his shoulders, right? No, it signifies the chapel or the temple or capella. All righty. And you see where he is, and he's got his knees and his feet and middle portions all in the Milky Way. He's teabagging the Milky Way, right? Constellation Auriga, with the lamb on his shoulder and two goats in his lap. There's the star Capella, the chapel, the temple, the synagogue, right? So to speak. Well, the temple, because really the synagogue would be opposite it, you know, not 107, but 287, 286, 287, where Jacob is, the star of Jacob, or Israel, right? So this is us, right? So that's what it's talking about. So it's saying that when the sun is opposite 107, which is 287, opposite 106, which is 286 to 287, right? Then the sun is shining on that, because with the sun being opposite of it, then that means that in the night sky, you should be able to see that star. So if the sun is in Sagittarius, tropic Sagittarius, opposite tropic Gemini here, because remember, here's Gemini on the ecliptic starting, and it goes, it's 30 degrees to Cancer on the ecliptic. So opposite that section there would be the sun in Sagittarius. And when the sun is there in the night sky, you will see the star Capella. However, when the sun is here though, right? When the sun is here, however, right? Then this is known as solar night. The reason it's solar night, because you can't see the stars wherever the sun is. So if we're appearing to see the sun transiting Gemini, then that means that the earth is transiting Sagittarius. And when the earth is transiting Sagittarius and the sun is being perceived to transit Gemini, we can't see the chapel or Capella in the constellation Auriga. Is this clear, brothers?
Indeed.
Righty, continuing. Just wanted to show you guys that, and we're going to wrap this up real quick just on the time, and I'm going to take you to other sections that I think are important, since this is Sunday, right? I'm going to take you to church. Jesus. All righty, so let's do this. And the sun rising in his strength at the vernal equinox, right? They're going to be like, hold on, vernal equinox is happening in Sagittarius now? How? Because you just said opposite of 107 or 106 and 107 is 286, 287. So yeah, when the sun is there, it would destroy or burn the temple. It would melt away. In other words, the sun would be directly opposite Capella. Thus, you'll be able to see the stars shine. Do you see again now how truth and falsehood are strangely mixed? All right. The point of Apollo, Alpha Gemini. What's Apollo? Apollo. See, in Egypt, Egyptian studies, it's Apollo. However, Apollo is also called Castor. Also known, if I'm not mistaken, so that's Apollo is Castor, and then Hercules would be Pollux. However, as above, so below, there's always a double. So even though you have Castor and Pollux, or Apollo and Hercules there, you also got another Hercules here, the constellation Hercules, which to some would recognize him as Adam in the Bible. And in his left hand, he's holding that tree in the garden. All right. But, you know, and I have his feet circled to show where the foot is crushing the serpent's head, you know, just to show you guys, because that's all explained throughout there. Okay, let's check the chat here. All righty, let's see. I will send you an email. I would love to read this in its entirety. Love supersedes all. Got you. Peaceful greetings, Mother Sahar. Peaceful greetings to you. Grand rising, pink illuminates. Hey, baby. Right. All right. That's great. Yeah, it's actually a compilation of books, actually. And I have done the research to make sure I put all the books in that one folder so you guys can have them. All righty. So that's great. All righty. However, again, just always think to yourselves, you know, there's been people teaching from it and writing books purporting to it, but no one has actually said, hey, here's the truth and the divine truth. All righty. So that's what we're, you know, doing here. All righty. So back to Veritas, and the tablet of memory is what this is going off of. You see right here where it says this little footnote in the corner. I mean, this little side note here in the corner, and it's citing where this actually came from, right? Let's highlight here. See that right there? I just zoomed in on it. See, it says TM 107, tablet of memory, right? So that's the third book that it's talking about. So what's the tablet of memory, right? The tablet of memory, right, is all the so-called events that's ever happened in history, so-called history. And basically with the tablet of memory, you should be able to use the tablet of memory to find these Astro-Masonic points to really see how things and time and stuff here on this planet has been taking place. And then it makes you think, okay, so these celestial picture writings, some of them are brand new. They've been, you know, some of these constellations were drawn in the 1700s. So what were the Babylonians and Sumerians doing? What pictures were they going off of? And utilizing those pictures, since a picture is worth 1,000 words, then that means whoever controls the celestial picture writings, does that mean they control the people on the planet then? And I'm going to say that's a very strong possibility. Then, so now you need to think to yourself, okay, so where are the plates, the original plates then? And when I say plates, I'm talking about the celestial picture writings pertaining to the northern and southern celestial hemispheres. Right? Where are those plates? And just some things that you think about. So the point of Apollo, right? The point of Apollo, Alpha Gemini, which is the star Castor, always the same. Arc Royale 107 or Royal Arch Companion 107. But there are several ways by which it may be attained. For instance, if you see anything that says the year 192, the year 277, the year 362, the year 447, the year 532, the year 617, the year 702 will all produce Apollo at the Royal Arch Companion 107 degrees. All right. That's how that goes. That's it. That's all. All righty. And that's just kind of what I wanted to share with you guys just on that. And let's just knock out one other thing. Let's go to stuff like, you know, the birth of Jesus, you know, since that's what people want to know. And I said, this is, you know, Day, right? Oh, look, the deluge. So you guys know the deluge as the flood and Noah's Ark and things of that nature and stuff. And this is where I showed the aura. I was like, hey, brother Aura, look, your appellations in Veritas. It's the altar or the Ark of the Covenant, right? So there's two types of arcs. You have Aura, the constellation, and then you have Argo, the constellation, right? So, and then, this thing goes into different things of the Ibri and learning different things about Astro-masonry and stuff like that or whatever. So it's talking about, let's go here. Let me go back a little further, right? And some of these pages to take it back to the beginning of this particular chapter. See the creation, right? In the beginning, there were the heavens and earth was without form or void, right? So as you guys can see here, like the small writings here, like these small writings here are the actual Helios Bibliotech quotes, right? And, some of our family are really mental slaves under the, let's bang the drum and the organ, pipe organ and keyboard and stuff and send a collection plate around. So they're, under the mental slavery of that by people who Astro-masonically have things at their disposal. Let's check the thank you, beloved. My beloved consort, Mother Segmetel, is letting me know to check the chat, guys. So let's see what we got here. Ping Illuminates, if you're just coming in, you may want to join us for Prophet Noble Drew Ali University to dig deeper into this literature and ask questions pertaining to how to apply this in the mundane. Soulful Rising, good sisters and sons. Indeed, Brother Ronnie, peaceful greetings. Islam Moors, hey, Brother Amazite, peaceful greetings to you also. Today is the last open session before we begin a private workshop on horary astrology. That is true, Mother Sekmet. Thank you so much. For the next 12 Sundays. That's right, guys. For the next 12 Sundays after today, we got 12 Sundays. Today is Sunday 48. We've been going 48 Sundays straight since last April, guys. All righty. So this is the 48th Sunday. All righty. And we'll be at 52 Sundays and another 4 Sundays. But those first 4 Sundays, starting next Sunday for the vernal equinox, we're starting the Magi Infinity Sphere astrology, magic 8-ball astrology, so to speak, which is horary astrology, where you ask a question and you can answer that question by casting a chart to get that question answered. Basically, that's what we're going over. All right, back to Veritas, guys, and then we got class in a few. All right, so just real quick, all righty, when we are reading this, all righty, the words that I haven't highlighted are the words that are explaining the words that are highlighted as far as in this portion. The highlighted words particularly here are what's in the Helios Bibliotech, contemporarily called the Holy Bible, all righty? So that's what's there. So I'm not going to read what the actual Bible scriptures are. I'm going to read the explanation by the author, all righty? So here we go, the creation. And I'm just going to touch base on this and maybe touch a little bit on Jesus's birth and death and all these other different things so you guys can see that all of this stuff is just Astro-Masonic truth and falsehood, strangely mixed. And we're here to enjoy it. So when they say an Astro-Mason, well, how does the Astro-Mason build? Masons are supposed to be operative. Well, yeah, being an operative Mason is parrot-taught technique. There's nothing wrong with parrot-taught technique. It does have its place and come in handy. However, Astro-Masons are speculative, and the rocks that we build with, or the stones that we build with, are the stars, the constellations. All righty? The creation. Job 38, 1-7. Then the Lord, or the word, answered Job out of the whirlwind and said, who this that darkens counsel by words without knowledge? I'm sorry, that's just so funny to me. Who's this that this? All right, let me continue. Gird up now your loins like a mind, all right? Because man is mind. For I will demand of you, and you will answer me, and answer you me, right? Answer about me. Where was you when I was shooting in the gym? No, where wast you? Where was thou when I laid the foundations pertaining to the earth? Declare if thou hast understanding. If you know so much with a real Slim Shady, please stand up. Who has laid the measures thereof, if you know? Or who has stretched the line upon it, since you know? Whereupon are the foundations thereof fasting? You know, where are they fastened? You know, where does it start? You know, or who laid the cornerstone thereof? When the morning stars sang together and all sons of God shouted for joy. Tell me when that happened. Tell me when there was a conjunction when all of the planets were together, right? Sort of, kind of, right? That's kind of how I'm looking at that, right? The Hebrew or Hebrew word translated as God in the first chapter and the first, second, and third verses of the second chapter of Genesis is the Hebrew or Hebrew word Elohim, right? So from right to left, so give it to you from right to left. Elohim is, or some people will say Elohim, but Elohim is Aleph, pardon me, Aleph, Lamed, Hey, Yud, Mem. Aleph, which is the ox or the sacrificial ox, some people would say. Lamed is the lamp. Hey is the open window. Some people would say in, you know, certain Christian theological gems, the open window of grace. Yud is the hand of God or the finger of God. Mem, waters, right? So the sacrificial lamb lighting the open window, pointing to the waters, or fingers God pointing to the waters, right? Elohim, right? So the sacrificial lamb, Aries, you know, the light, Lamed, that would be a star, right? Window, open window at the top of the window, Hey, so that's an arc, right? So you're looking for the sacrificial lamb's light in the arch to point out with God's finger at the waters. So that's how you would look at Elohim or Elohim, Aleph, Lamed, Hey, Yud, Mem. All right. Meaning God's, you know, to call upon, right? Okay. Accordingly, the gods or constellations, right? The gods or the to call upons, right? In the beginning brought forth the heaven and the earth was chaos without form and void, and and at sunset, darkness was equinoxially on the surface pertaining to the deep. Oh, pardon me, guys. I'm just trying to scroll. You still had that on there. Let's take that off. At sunset, darkness was equinoxially on the surface of the deep, right? Deep what? The deep waters of the celestial sphere, because at nighttime, it does look like dark waters when you look up. When the spirits of the gods rose upon the face of the water. So in other words, the sun was opposite a certain portion where the stars opposite the sun were rising when facing east. Oh, hey, look, I see the stars moving across the sky. Those are the spirits of the gods. The stars in the constellations are the spirits of the gods. Rose upon the face of the waters. The gods, constellations, said, quote, let there be light, and the brilliance, when they say brilliance like that, they're talking about stars, of heaven appeared and shone forth and divided the stellar light of the constellations or gods from their solar darkness. All righty, because they'll be in solar darkness if the sun is there, then you can't see the stars, like I said earlier. And the evening and the morning were the first period of the day. And the gods, constellation, said, let there be an arched over firmament at the line in the midst of the waters. Okay, so that should probably be a Milky Way, kind of alluding to the Milky Way also. And the gods or the constellations formed the celestial equator, which divided the southern from the northern waters, you know, those hemispheres. So again, that's why when taking you here, right, this is the northern celestial hemisphere we're looking at. And this is page 4. When you go here to page 24, it'll give you the southern celestial hemisphere. So these are the waters that we're observing. These are the firmaments that we're observing. All right. So let's go back. All right. All right. Just having fun with our compass and square here and reading. Yay! Awesome. All right, let's continue. And the gods, the constellations, called their hemisphere or firmament heaven. And the evening and morning were the second day. The waters under the heaven are those of Royal Arch Companion or Arc Royale 76 degrees and Royal Arch Companion or Arc Royale 46 degrees, those at Royal Arch Companion or Arc Royale 106 degrees, they become the seeds. And that's why y'all saw me earlier when I was here with the Northern Hemispheric plate here on page 4. Because even this book, A Celestial Atlas by Alexander Jameson, 1822, it doesn't exist. This PDF I had to make because the only way I can compile it was getting it from the United States Naval Academy Library. It was in like 36 different pictures. I didn't see a PDF, so I just made a PDF of it. So this will also be in there. However, that's why I marked out these portions. So it talks about 46, 76, and 106, right? So those are where the arrows are pointing. The arrows are pointing to 46, 76, and 106 so that I could get what they meant by the seeds, right, at that time or whatever, right? However, what I'm noticing here is certain portions that actually kind of, if I was to get my ruler, right, if I was to get my ruler tool again and just kind of see that when I go and hit these certain spots, let me actually bring in the ecliptic pole there too. See, what you'll see is if I hinge this off of the ecliptic pole and just go from here, from 46, and that's about 60 degrees that I would be if I had my compass. So if I had drew a line, so let me show what a line drawn from 46 to 76 to 106 would actually look like. A line drawn would actually let's do it like this. Let's draw a line like this, right? And in drawing our line, we'll actually start from 46, right, where it's pointing from, and take it to the 106, where it's pointing to, and then we can curve our line to make it as if we drew this with our compass, right, from a centered point, so that you can actually see that these are 60 degrees within the celestial sphere that are being reported in the Helios Bibliotech as the waters or the seas. However, you're also noticing too, from these points, you'll see that you have Algenev and Perseus, alrighty, with his face in the waters. Because a lot of times when you hear the Bible talk about the waters, the dust, man was made from the dust, there's the waters, there's the blood, there was this sprinkling, there was this aroma, there was this smoke. It's always alluding to the Milky Way, which is that like grainy looking thing that I have outlined in green. As you guys can see, if I pull it away, you guys can see that outline in green just kind of goes, you know, all the way from Monoceros all the way up here to Aquila and the Poniatowski's bull, right? Taurus Poniatowski, right? To show the Milky Way, because a lot of what's being spoken about is everything in the Bible. Because remember, the Holy Bible is the sun book. So it's letting you know about what's going on with the sun and the moon and other planets and stuff like that, and certain stars and things of that nature. That's all it is. That's all it's ever been. It's just that we fell. Here, us at the North Gate that have been misidentified as Negro Black colored, unless you're like me and my brothers here, that you have come back to that mindset, to your ancient foremothers and forefathers, declare to proclaim your nationality. You know you're not Negro, Black, colored, or African American, because there's no civilized people on the planet that identify with that. Those are miscreants. Those are the uncivilized, to be lighted upon by vultures. So if you don't want to be all emotional and upset pertaining to what's being shared with you right now, then you would honor your ancient foremothers and forefathers and learn astrology and astronomy yesterday. All right? If you're really paying attention to Prophet Noble Drew Ali's literature and Brother Charles Mosley Bay's literature, you wouldn't have these problems. All right? Let's see what the chat is here. Brother Amazite puts all fire. Open 642 says Grand Rising, all peace of greens. Brother Walter Davis Bay. Brother Walter, you're supposed to be here on the Zoom with us, man. You know the code, man. I didn't send it to you. You're supposed to be here with us in the Zoom, Brother Walter. Brother Amazite says, what's the Cash App? The Cash App is the caduceus symbol, our astrology street. Caduceus symbol, Mother Segment, if you can put that in the chat for them. If you haven't already, you can. If you have, thank you so much, Mother Segment. Brother Amazite, we got that Cash App for you. Again, it's our astrology street. Brother Solomon, peace of greetings to you, beloved brother. I gave you the Cash App, the Zoom login too, but like I said, I wasn't expecting you guys to really speak on it. I just wanted the brothers on different levels in your knowledge to just, be here, be around, so you guys will know. Just to be clear, today's session is open to all. However, if you wish to have the recording of the entire session, which is both video and audio, right, with the audio and chat files, please do send your eleemosynary tuition, right? The eleemosynary, right? Tuition pertaining to 27 units in lieu of lawful money. All righty. That's what it is every 7 days. You guys want to get the recordings. All righty. That are done via Zoom that are not live on social medias. And Mother Segment further puts with the pink illuminates, all rights reserved. If anyone is not receiving the emails for class each cycle, please email Brother Hassan to be added or leave your email here and I'll record it for his files. Yes, because Mother Segment is the one who has done an excellent work on 7healstar.com and how it looks and everything and compiling things and getting the email list together and stuff like that. Just administrative work that really needs to be done. And peaceful greetings, Brother Bruce. Peaceful greetings to you. All righty. So let's continue, guys, and hurry up and wrap this up just a little bit. Just wanted to show you guys a little bit of that. And speaking about the firmament and all these other things and pointing out these numbers, and I'm stopping there on purpose, right? Now, let's go into a few other things or whatever, because you guys are going to need to really be able to go into these things and really grasp these things, right? So that's why even right here, when it speaks on, the creation, and you see I have something highlighted here that I already kind of said. The man has been mentioned hitherto as Hiram or Hercules. So even Hiram Abith is really dealing with the Hercules that's in Ephraim. So Hiram Ab means of or pertaining to, the Hercules pertaining to Ephraim, which is Gemini. All right, so Hiram Abith, like Ab, F-A-B as one term, and F-E-P-H, abbreviation for Ephraim, Hiram Abith, all right? So that would purport to the house of David or Gemini, all righty? Apollo, right? Quote, had we the Babylonian sphere unmutilated, which means had we the celestial plates of the northern and southern hemispheres from Babylon or Babylonia, unmutilated, had we had those things or whatever, then we wouldn't be dealing with these things. We wouldn't be trying to figure out certain things, because what is being said too is, okay, well, before we had Adam or Hercules, what was being said during the time of the Sumerians and Babylonians, because they wouldn't be using these Roman gods. And when you think about that, now you're thinking, oh, well, Prophet Noble Drew Ali said we fell because we went after Roman gods we knew nothing of or knew nothing about. So now people are like, well, why are you presenting this? And why are you showing us this? Because this is our stuff. It's just the way that we went about Roman gods is not the way that we were supposed to have been identifying how it has been perverted. Is that clear? All right. So with that being said, had the Babylonian sphere unmutilated, had we the Babylonian sphere unmutilated, it would be a picture history from Adam to the time of its invention. So in other words, from Adam to before Adam. Hercules represents Adam and described in the 3rd chapter, as described in the 3rd chapter of Genesis, right? So just wanted to show you that point. Goes into the deluge and the flood and explaining that, and basically how you're going from the constellation Ara to the constellation Argo. It's very beautiful. I gotta admit, I'm not upset, not one bit, but that's why, Brother Taj told you guys last week, don't be upset. because he told you, he said, you know, in about a week or two, and now we're here and we're sharing this thing. So don't go out, you know, hanging your pastor or your rabbi or your imam. You know, just recognize that it's time for you to graduate out of fucking kindergarten. Is that clear? All right. So that you can grow further, so you can help us take our place amongst the affairs pertaining to minds. All righty. Any questions, comments, and or suggestions? And continuing with all this Astro-Masonic beauty, the birth of Christ, right? Isaiah 7:14, behold, a virgin, which is Virgo, shall conceive and bear a son and shall call his name Emmanuel. So a lot of times when they're talking about virgins and stuff and people doing these things and people will be brought to places, you see the arrows in this astrolabe? The arrows in here are telling you that certain points of the alphabet, you see that there are 26 capital letters, which deals with Roman letters. And that's explained in this book. There's nothing that I'm saying that can't be explained in this book, outside of the fact that when I say stuff about Prophet Noble Drew C. and Bay, I'm drawing correlations to their literature with this literature. However, you see there are 26 lowercase letters, which deals with the Arabic, 26 capital letters, which deals with the Roman. 26 plus 26 is 52, 5 on the left, 2 on the right. Those are your lambs. Lamb is an Astro-Masonic poetic fiction. Well, it's a poetic fiction. Lamb, it alludes to the Astro-Masonic fact, those 52 points in the sidereal zodiac, with 4 extra points here in the house of David at 1 degree, 5 degrees, 10 degrees, and then Capella, right? There at 106. All right. And so those arrows there will be like, hey, if this point was brought to this point, then what it would be doing is called covering a sign or closing out signs and closing the zodiacs, right? So that's kind of just what I want to show you, but I'm going to actually demonstrate this in a second. So let's just look at the birth of Christ real quick. Mother Segment's keeping me on point. She's saying I need to take it to the table, and I agree, right? So where was the birth of Christ, where I was at with that? As you guys can see, I'm really picking this book apart because I just wanted to bring out key highlights. So when you go in it on your own, you'll be like, oh my goodness, I really get it, right? Okay, so yeah, okay, Emmanuel, right? Emmanuel, God is with us, all right? Psalm, all righty, 19, 1, 2, 3. The heavens declare the glory pertaining to God, and the firmament, which we know is heaven, shows his handiwork. Day unto day utters speech, and night unto night shows knowledge. So you get your knowledge from the stars. And then once you get the knowledge from the stars, then you can go into your day and do your speech. No speech nor language. Their voice is not heard. All right. Matthew and Luke are the only biblical writers that give any account pertaining to the birth of Christ. Matthew of the New Testament is celestially the same personation as Moses of the Pentateuch. Both are scribes. Matthew gives 2 distinct versions of the birth. In the first account, he does not mention when or where the event occurred. It is thus related Christ's mother was Mary, and she was espoused to Joseph. Now, it would appear that celestially, Spica, which is a star in Virgo, and Arcturus, which is in the tribe of Joseph, right? And says, see the astrolabe? So if you go to the astrolabe, Joseph, right? So we were to take this astrolabe, and let's say if it was transparent, and we put it on top of the constellation Virgo, and it's talking about Arcturus. Where's Arcturus, right? Here's Arcturus. So it means, why is Job talking about Arcturus, right? Because Job does mean Arcturus. However, this will show you a few things here. Here's Arcturus in the constellation Boots, right? Boots, right? Spica is in the constellation Virgo. However, I'm not sure if we can see Spica here. I may have to go to the southern plate, actually. Go to the southern plate. And let's see if we can see Spica on the ecliptic. It's right there. There's Spica. All righty. And we can see Spica is around about 20 degrees It's looking like it's about 20 degrees Libra, right? On the ecliptic, however, in the constellation Virgo at about her knee. All right. So how do we do all this? And we're going back and forth and all this stuff. Okay, and you're talking about the birth of Christ, and you're showing this stuff, and you're saying you're about to go to this table, and you're saying Sekhmet is telling you to go to the table, and it's like, what are we doing? All right, well, let's just show you what we're doing then. All right, let's do it. And then I'm gonna yield the floor, and we're gonna get ready to let you guys in class here. All right. So when it's talking about these things, it's like, okay, so what happens when you look at these things and you're looking at the tribe of Joseph and all that? It's really hard to kind of reconcile these things this way. So here we go. Ready, Mother Sekhmet? Let's do it. Let me actually take this screen share off real quick. Guys, let me come back here. Stop the screen share. All righty. Hey, Belly. Oh, it's no light there, right? I should, though. I should give you one. All right, let me give you a light, honey. Let's do that. Let's give you a light scheme. Right. Right. Goodness and the gracious. That's a spicy meatball. Right? Woo! That's a spicy meatball. All righty, y'all. My baby wants me to bring the light. I don't mind me, guys. I was getting prepared and getting ready, and I bust the light bulb in excitement. So I'm taking one from another lamp that I was utilizing here, right? And we're going to get this thing started, right? And I'm going to, hold on. All right, I think you're good. All right, y'all. So I think what I'm going to do here, right, is let me take this background filter stuff off. Let's hit none there. All righty. And let's see. There you go. It's us. Hey, us. It's us. All right. So let's Yeah, this is why we need to really learn. We got to teach Veritas to the baby. All right, anyway, right. You're gonna learn Veritas. We need to make sure you know the median and Persian laws. No, I'm kidding. All right, so let's do this for real. I need to go get my bucket from downstairs because we want to sit on the bucket, right? I didn't flip it yet, so. All right, and then we're gonna finish out here, and then I'm going to set it up so we're all the way good. All right, can you sit there, hon?
Oh, yeah.
You got that? I got it. Yeah. Get yourself set. Get yourself comfortable at the table. And do your thing. You good? All right. Let's flip the camera here. All right, guys. So we're at the table, right? Now, this is what we're utilizing here. I came up with this because the more and more I read Veritas, I was like, you know what? I want to be able to do what I just said in this video just now. Take the astrolabe and put it transparently on top of the celestial sphere. So I constructed this, and I sent one to Brother Corey Bay and one to Tyrell Tamari Bay, so that we can be able to take this and put it on top of the constellations. Now, some of those words are backwards. I know you can see, like, hold on, that's upside down and backwards, but it's lined up. Gemini is lined up. See? Taurus is lined up. All right, so I want to be able to read Veritas on my iPad and then have these in my hand. And this is the northern celestial hemisphere. And then here's the southern celestial hemisphere. All righty. With the rest of the signs, you see Sagittarius is there. If I turned it upside down, so you guys can see it real quick. You see constellation Sag. You see the scorpion stinging Ophiuchus's foot. All right. And a lot of your Bible will unfold after this. Now, am I manufacturing these? I have done that. And what I also will say when doing these things, I guess what I should do is the example of the 107, the 106. All righty. Now, these ones were done by my hand. All righty. Whereas I have some new ones that I've sent to my brothers that I actually print now through a little custom made process that I do. And this is something new actually right here that I haven't even introduced to my brothers yet. However, what this does here, if I was to actually, before I do the thread demonstration, I'm going to show you guys this new innovation I came up with yesterday, right? Whereas if I wanted to actually look at something, right? So you see how I want to look at the northern and celestial hemispheres, and you see how Orion and the Monoceros is together now. You zoom in on, come on that close together. Now I have something right here in the northern hemisphere connected to its other portion in the southern hemisphere. But say if I wanted to look at, see how now I have Taurus here, and see how Taurus is there, where it's lined up in the different hemispheres. But now say if I wanted to look at two other points again, now I have the means. Let's say if I can't see a certain portion in Virgo, remember I wanted to see Virgo. So why don't I now line Virgo up with Virgo? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna spin the constellation.
Look at Corey.
For Virgo here. Brother Corey, you like that, Brother Corey? You flipping out, Brother Corey?
Hey, yo.
They spinning, son. They spinning. They spinning. Oh my God.
They spinning, brother. They spinning. And I know because I got off the phone with you and Jack. Look, okay. Here's the confession. I was on the phone with Brother Jack.
Oh my God.
And I'm like, guys, I'm getting ready for tomorrow's presentation. And I was like, I'm going to go study. And then next thing I know, I'm outside and I have that unvelation fall on my head again. And I said, you know what? I want to see everything all at once. That's what I want. So I said, you know what? I came in here. Sekhmet's like, babe, I just finished writing my story. You guys see her stories, you know what I mean? Because she's writing for theriches.com, like phenomenal fucking stories. And I'm like, babe, I'm going to help promote your stuff. And I'm in the middle of an unvelation. She's like, babe, check this out. And I'm just so not where she needs me to be in her moment of excitement, because I'm constructing this that I just showed you guys. That's new. I didn't even take the thread portion yet. So imagine once I make more of these that actually spin and I can see the northern and southern constellations. So now look, see how I brought Virgo's wings together now? So now I can actually see what it was talking about. And I don't have to flip pages even though I'm demonstrating to you guys via an iPad and transparencies in paper. Let me get the thread. So the reason why we're even speaking about the thread now, right, is because the thread would be like the same as me going on my iPad, right, and taking that ruler tool and then drawing a line with the pen tool. So we can see what cluster of stars and points that line goes through. So let me if I wanted to, I could go here on this one, but I'm going to demonstrate. Let me turn these back, right? They spinning. Let me find out they over here spinning stuff. They spinning. Okay, boom, there we go. All right, so boom, there it is. All righty, so line them back up. All right, so there we go. Now, guys, let's move this to the side, right? Because I told you guys, I'm not just going to demonstrate a book. I'm going to show you how we actually study around here. We're not playing. All righty, so at 107, 106, right? If I wanted to run this thread at 106 to see which star, it's saying it's going through Apollo, which is Castor. All right, cool. Let me line that up with the ecliptic pole, because the ecliptic pole is right here. I line that up with the ecliptic pole and I can stretch it. to see where it's going to line up at on the other side. But we already know the ecliptic is not the center of this circle. The center is the North Pole. So if I go from the center of the North Pole, then I'll be able to reconcile seeing how when the sun is opposite 106, which is 286, right here at B, the capital letter B, then you'll see how when the sun comes from 256 to 286, it's burning the temple of Apollo, because the temple of Apollo, again, is right here at 76, right? So from 76 to 106 is 30 degrees. So when the sun is transiting from 256 to 286, it has now created a 30-degree transit, which now alludes to the Astro-Masonic fact, however, poetically shrouded in Apollo's temple. The temple of Apollo burnt 362. Again, 362 alludes to 3 times 15 plus 62 gets you Royal Arc degree, or Royal Arc Companion degree, 107. Any questions, comments, and or suggestions? How was that, brothers? I know every time I go to the table, it seems like I'm doing the shortest amount of time. I do so much on the iPad and the book and talking. And then I go to the table like, all right, this is how it's done. All done. Yay, finished. What you guys think? You know? So what you guys think? Talk to me.
Just a quick note. Walter's trying to get in. I sent him the password, but he said it's not working.
Really?
Yeah.
Hold on, let me check participants. Yeah, I don't see him. I got brother Bruce, you, me, Jag, Aura.
Maybe he's got the wrong room code.
Let me see if I can text him. Y'all go and talk to people, man. Tell me how y'all feel. Brother Bruce is here now too. What does this do for you guys now that I've showed you this? Now that I've showed you I told you, I'm sorry. I told you guys I'm apologize to you early before we got started. I said, yo, I came with something else. And it was right after our conversation. I couldn't believe it. I mean, I didn't even waste time with it. It hit my head and I started constructing it.
First I saw the plates together and I'm like, okay, we brought the constellations together. All right. And then you started spinning them, bro. It's a wrap. That's all I got to say. It's a wrap.
It's a celestial Spreewell situation. Let me stop. Celestial Spreewells. They spinning, brother. They spinning. Anyway, yeah, we're doing Spreewell astronomy over here. And I'm kidding. That'll make the Latrell Spreewell probably come out of whatever he's doing. Like, hey guys, let me put my finances behind you. And we're gonna be like, what's your nationality, Latrell? I'm serious. Because you're an L twice. You're a Lutch L and Spree L. So what's your nationality? I'm just saying. All right, so let's see. Let's check the chat here. Indeed, says Mother Sahar, laughing out loud, open. 624 says 1 + 1 = 3. Pisces. Yes, that's exactly right. Good work, bruh, says Brother Ronnie. Thank you for the information. Much appreciation. Walter says real reference points. These are real reference points. And Brother Walter, I don't know what happened, man. How's the code not working? 140321. Try again, Brother Walter. Well, you're coming in for class anyway, because we about to start class in about 15 minutes to a half an hour. Y'all got to give me a break. Maybe I'll hit the record button again at, 12:30. All right, give me a little second to debrief, get some water, a little parched. However, it's Prophet Noble Drew Ali University. We're going to open up the Moorish American prayer and read the 2 letters that are to be read in every meeting, to be proclaimed in every meeting. And then we're just going to continue. This is the 4th cycle for Prophet Noble Drew Ali University. All righty. It says meeting. Okay, so that's saying, hey guys, it's time for the Prophet Noble Drew Ali University. That's what that little notification was. Thank you, Zoom. Yeah, Brother Walter did say the code's not working. I think that's a little odd, but it is what it is. However, yeah, I sent it to him though, and he'll be coming in soon or whatever. So guys, here we go. Any questions, comments, and or suggestions? I am looking at the chat. Mother Sekhmet's looking at the chat. All righty. Any questions, comments, and or suggestions? If you have them, come on and join us, guys. 998-902-6250 is the Zoom number. The passcode is 140321. 140321. All righty, because today's the 14th, March 2021, right? There's Mother Sekhmet logging in, all righty, for class. So, guys, this is what we're going to do. We're going to have a ball and continue to enjoy ourselves. All righty, good. So, Mother Sekhmet just came in. Yeah, Brother Walter, try to come on in, all right? Brother Walter Davis Bay, guys. It's a lot of us that's really, continuing our studies, man, and being serious behind the scenes. Regardless of what's going on the internet, people, people are. No, you're good. You just need a set of headphones or something, you're good. Yeah, you're good. You're good. So instead of us, wasting our time bickering on the internet, this is what we do. We've been studying for real. We've been. Really looking at these things and analyzing these things. Because when it gets shared with me, I immediately send it to you guys after I make, let me check this out. Let me see if it's real leather. Okay, yeah, it's good. Bing! Send it all to you. How did I can say this is real leather and I'm vegan, right? Well, I still own a leather coat, right? So I'm not really completely vegan because I still would wear a cow or sheep, I guess. Anyway, that's not funny, but it is. Huh?
You're plant-based though. You have a plant-based diet at least, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I know, right? Indeed. This has been great, guys. Like, hour and a half we've been spending here. This is great. We went over a few things. We took it to the table, showed you guys how things are done or whatever. So that's awesome. We were able to go from, you guys' testimonies, a little bit of the iPad presentation, as well as go to the table and show how actually I've taken some of these pages that I've been sharing and showing you guys or whatever. And then, the tablet of memory I didn't show. So I can show that before I go. I just remembered that because I had mentioned that. So let's see if we can find a tablet of memory real quick, guys, to show you that third book. However, like I said, you guys send us the email or whatever. We'll give you access to that drive that I made of all the ancillary documentation for you to analyze Veritas on your own. All righty, freely. All righty. So these keys are being loosed as it has been prophesied. So let's observe and analyze these keys. All right. And so now I guess what I'm looking for is the tablet of memory. So let me just type here tablet, right? This should be it. This should be a tablet of memory, right? And remember, it said TM107. So if I went to the tablet of memory and turned to page 107, all right, I'm just waiting on this to load, guys. And I turned to page 107 within the tablet of memory, all righty. What would actually occur is you would see a list of different things that has occurred, different events that have occurred that the uninitiated or the unlearned would think that they're actual events in history that took place during a certain time. When actually these are Astro-Masonic facts shrouded in poetic fiction. All righty, so here we go. We have here on the screen, guys, as you can see, we have here, all righty, the tablet of memory. All right. I guess I'm all the way up to page 305. And I was looking into what they said, different Lord Mayors of London and things like that. Now, this is just going up to 1790. All right. There are many tablets of memory. All righty. But let's go to page, let's see if I can find page 107. All right. See if I can find it. There's Brother Walter. All righty. Page 107. Right. Oh, look at that. That says more fields leveled and first planted 1614. Just wanted to show that. What's that? Negro adventure, the first to America, 1508. Man, tablet of memory is amazing, right? However, to just show what we're speaking about when Veritas makes that reference for page 107, right? And it speaks on earthquakes, famine, inundations, storms, tempests, frosts, accidental fires, etc. Right? As you can see, 8th from Abbotsbury. You got Abbotsbury, Owlsbury, right? Aldbourne, Alexandria, Alresford, Amersbury, Amsterdam, and then boom, Apollo's temple at Antioch. Anti meaning opposite of or opposite of. Ak is a Akkus would be a Goodness gracious. Why am I forgetting this? Anti-Ak, opposite of the ship or boat. Hold on 2 seconds, guys. Don't judge me. Ak is sometimes as the I also, but anti-Ak is opposite of, hold on, give me 1 second because I was just reading it. And it's just having a brief brain fart. Antiochus, right? So let's take this to one, actually here. Let me make sure, because I want to make sure I'm saying the right thing, right? And let's show you guys what Antioch actually is. All right. Make sure I'm in the right spot. Short. Yes. Antioch. All right. Here we go. Chariot. That's what an Akkus is. An Akkus is a chariot. See right here where, and I'm gonna highlight it for you guys so you can see. Antioch. Anti meaning opposite, according to them, and Akkus is a chariot. But I was also thinking oculus, like ocular, like dealing with the eye or whatever, or equal in speed to a chariot, right? There are two Antiochs, one at Royal Arch Companion 106 or Arc Royale 106, and the other of Syria or Sirius, the fixed star Sirius, built by Antiochus Epiphanes in Arc Royale 286, which we know that's where the Epiphany is. The Epiphany is, remember, Prophet Noble Drew Ali was made manifest in the Epiphany 3 days after Christmas, because Christmas is January 6th. Prophet Noble Drew Ali was manifest January 8th. And I'm speaking Astro-Masonically, and I'm not going to fix it or correct myself. I'm speaking like you should know this. All righty. That's where I'm speaking from. All righty. So as you can see, the Epiphany right there. The only Ali in the whole zodiac, Neft Ali. All right. So the sun was at 288 when Prophet Noble Drew Ali manifested. So he manifested 3 days after Christmas. Christmas is 286. He manifested 288. Right? That's where the sun was, at the Royal Arch Companion degree 288. All right. Now, just wanted to give you guys that. And then we go back to now, opposite of the chariot, back to tablet of memory, right? So now it says Apollo's temple at opposite the chariot burnt 362 before Christ. Now you know, because we went through Veritas, that you can now pick apart the Astro-Masonic fact from the poetic fiction. All right. Now, any questions, comments, and or suggestions, beloveds? Going once, going twice. Let's check this chat again. No one in the chat. Okay, Mother Sahar laughs, and Brother Ronnie has left too. Okay, that's good. Nothing else there. All righty, guys, this is awesome. I'm going to yield the floor, guys, and we're going to start recording, I guess, about 12:15-ish, 12:30-ish at the latest for class. And our classes go to about 4:30, all right? And so it's Prophet Noble Drew Ali University Astro Civics Community Meetup, where you guys can come on in and ask questions and observe what we do. Like I said, we're going to start out with the Moorish American prayer, which is very Astro-Masonic, as we broke down a couple of weeks ago. We went over the Moorish American prayer. We went over chapter 1 and showed the Astro-Masonic truths that are there. And Prophet Noble Drew Ali was bringing that the whole time, knowing, though, we needed to have the Moorish Science Temple of America being the means to help assist in getting the people to come out of the dogma belief system, because they're forgetting that they're Astro-Masons and they're descendants of Astro-Masons. All righty. And in forgetting that they've been held to servitude slavery. All righty. And being held to servitude slavery, they have forgotten who they are and have forgotten how to work this compass and square Astro-Masonically. All righty. So Prophet Noble Drew Ali and Brother Charles Mosley Bey have, in plain terminologies, this actual thing, and so that there could be a means to rehabilitate from the Negro Black colored mindset, which is the lack of the knowledge pertaining to Astro-Masonic truths and facts the More Science Temple of America is to be the buffer for those that are coming out of this Negro Black colored mentality until they are raised to the marvelous light pertaining to Astro-Masonry. Is that clear? Because I've seen there's a lot of confusion out there. And today it's done. There's no more confusion. I don't care about your groups, your titles, or your positions. I don't care how many books or lectures you've read or done. This is where we're supposed to be. This is how we're supposed to be thinking. However, if you're still into your fall and you still enjoy the false matrix, be our guest. Go and keep enjoying. However, there are those of us that know completely that, you know, we're going to move with how we know things need to be. All righty. And instead of doing things dogmatically and like that, at the end of the day, we're going to let you guys know, yes, it's about character building, and you can take these Astro-Masonic truths and apply them within yourself, because as above, so below, as below, so above, as without, so within, as within, so without. And you can utilize these things in building your character. However, we're not utilizing them anymore to be slave holders. No slave holding at all. You're hilarious. No slave holding allowed. All right, unless that's your choice and you allow your brothers that are wearing turbans and fezzes to sell you back into slavery willingly. Can't say you don't know after today. And Brother Taj warned you a week ago. He said, be loving and forgiving, because a domino effect is to take place. And it's not going to circle around and domino's going to land on me. So for those of you out there that's shrouded in that bullshit, stop avoiding responsibility already and grab a compass and square along with your Quran. And let's stop playing. And let's stop running reverse church in these buildings, singing and shaking a tambourine to Prophet Noble Drew Ali. Stop it. And stop saying that CM Bay was kicked out of the temple when you weren't there. Are we all realizing that a lot of stuff we're speaking on, we weren't there when the Prophet or CM Bay was there, and nobody, and a lot of people who may be alive that were there, they're not speaking up either. So stop with the dogmatic brother followership. You sound like a fucking idiot, respectfully. All right. So hold on, let me think. Are there any videos on YouTube out there of people mad at me or saying that I shouldn't? No, because I'm not busy lying, right? See, when you're really studying the truth and telling the truth and giving the truth, you're not going to be popular. It's not going to be a lot of views on your videos. And then even people that should be joining along with you, they're going to be too concerned about uniting and holding guns, tribing, rising, and consulating and shit. Again, we're not hating. We're just pointing out to you the difference and distinction between those of us that focus on truth for real, and then people that are just really into the rigmarole of internet popular sensations. You'll get tired of it eventually. Trust me. You'll get tired of it. Eventually, you'll want to stop being a dumbass and really study. That's what's going to happen. All right. Any questions, comments, or suggestions, beloveds? We're all here. See, Brother Walter's there now. See, we're all here. This is great. Questions, comments, and or suggestions? Going once, beloveds, going twice. I really love you all. Thank you so much. Okay, I'm going to end this live here. All righty, let's stop the live. All righty, and I'll see you guys when you come on in on the what is that? On the Zoom meeting for class. All righty, I love you all. Islam, Islam, Islam. Peace and love.
Islam.
Islam.